Alrighty, welcome everyone to the Breakout Racing League Season 7 Tier 4 Monaco Grand Prix here. We're here for round 5 of the Monte Carlo circuit, comprised of 18 corners and a lot of front wings about to be changed here in this race. And as a surprise, we can already see here there is some action. There's rain in qualifying here. I'm your host, Federcheese33, hosting for the first time of the season, joined by Monaco. Monaco, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. I just came off of commentating Tier 3, and surprisingly I managed to keep my voice, so I'm in a pretty good mood, I would say.
Yeah, and hopefully Tier 4 will be no different. There is a lot of shakeup and closeness in the championship right now. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it is pretty close. The top 4, by the looks of it, separated by only 7 points. James B leading them in the, I believe, is the Alpine. No, sorry, AlphaTauri, my bad. Ahead of Bald Guy in the Ferrari, who's had 2 months of podiums. Then BRL Phantom, who didn't have the best of showings in Spain, but he'll no doubt want to bounce back. He's sitting at 50 points with Bald Guy, 52, James B at 55, and then right behind them, KP21, who unfortunately DNF'd at Spain despite having run of podiums the past 3 races. He's still 7 points behind it with 48 points, so it's still very close between the top 4. It may only be round 5, but yeah, can still see an interesting shakeup after this Grand Prix.
Yeah, of course, and you can see people like James B, who's missed Bahrain, Bald Guy, who's DNF'd at China, Phantom, who's missed China also, and KP21, who's DNF'd. All of them have had a loss of points there in those rounds, but they've all finished inside the top 10 in all those races, so that consistency will really help them when trying to gain an advantage against their rivals. And it's just insane. There's 19 rounds left after this race. It's going to be a long season. Like we've said before, play it patient and know your limits, especially. You don't want to lose a couple ground of points compared to your rivals. Constructors-wise, going at it, Ferrari leads 60 points in front of Red Bull, both of them are separated by 4 points. Alfa Romeo is not much far behind with 10 points. Williams in 4th with 14 points behind Ferrari, so it is really close. 14 points separated by all the top 4 teams. People are going to be, probably trying to work better with their teammates to try and get some more points and respect within each other.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Like you said, Ferrari leading them of Bald Guy, and it is Fluky. Fluky may not be having the run compared to what Bald Guy is doing, but despite that, they're still leading the championship. It may be marginal, but anything can happen, and, well, they are leading the championship, so it's a good note to start on, but there's still 19 races left, so they're really going to have to play patient and just try to limit mistakes, really.
Yeah, on board with Fluky Full right now, about to set a time. First of many, 1:28.5. I'm not sure if that's a good representative time for this track. Maybe he had a moment, but I'm not sure if you know the times here.
Well, considering Tier 4, it's hard to say. Like, sometimes they can put in really good lap times, and sometimes they put in times that don't really represent their true pace. Right now, obviously, a 28 being the benchmark for the time being. As to whether that is competitive enough, I am not 100% sure. Really, the people you want to watch out for good laps is really, for people that really have pole position. So, Phantom, Bald Guy, James B, and Valkyrie, those 4 are the only ones with pole positions, which is actually interesting because every single race we've had a unique pole sitter, so that's actually like pretty crazy how that has already occurred. But I mean, anything can happen. But if you want to have like a good lap time to show, you'd have to watch out for those 4 drivers.
Of course, yeah. 5 drivers are setting time now. The times are coming in quickly. James B, let's talk about him for a bit. He's in the pit lane right now, but he finally has a full-time seat after reserving for 3 races and showing a good bit of consistency and speed. And he's leading now after 3 races reserving. He's now in a full-time seat, and hopefully he can challenge for that championship compared to his rivals, but you never know. I mean, this championship has been traded against many people. KB21, Phantom, now he's a 3rd, I think, or 4th.
Yeah, Phantom is P3, but go over to James B. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Every single race that he started in this tier, he's finished in the top 4. He's had P2 in China on his debut as a reserve. The second time as a reserve, he got P4. He did have pole position, though, so he definitely has the speed. He wasn't able to convert it in the race, but he still had a pretty strong showing. And then same again in Spain, where he was really up and down the order throughout that Grand Prix, but he still managed to come out on top on the final lap of that Grand Prix. So James B showing that he has the pace. As to whether he'd be a contender for the championship, well, at the moment, it's seeming very likely, but it's still a very, very long way to go, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, another driver to look out for. Valkyrie 420. What a roller coaster it has been for him. I mean, he's been leading. I think he led like 3 races. He was battling for the lead in Portimao, China, a few other races, but luck's not really gone his way. He's retired and, you know, had many incidents with drivers, but I don't know where is he in the championship, but he needs some ground to make up, because we know that he can battle for those wins. He's shown he has the pace to battle for those wins. All he has to do is play it safe and finish the car, bring the car home. That's all he has to do. He's on a qualifying lap right now. I'm not sure where that will take him. We'll have to go on a onboard lap guide.
Set up for second 2.
Yeah.
That's whether that's legit or not, I'm not entirely sure, because sometimes this game will lie to you. But if it is a true purple sector 2, then so never mind. That was very reminiscent of Michael Schumacher in 2000. Oh, never mind. That might have been.
Oh, he just desynced.
Yeah, that could have been desync. But he's now going to come across the line. What time does he set? He sets up on 30.2. 3 seconds. Just under 3 seconds.
Oh no, he didn't crash.
That's just a bit of desync going on, but he goes up into P4. He's no doubt going to want to improve that lap time, which I think he's going to try and do. But so far yeah, Valkyrie's not really had the best of times in this tier. Obviously, he did win at China. It was his first win after getting pole position there. I think quite dominantly, if I take a look at that. Yeah, he got pole position by like 3/10 there, so he has definitely shown he does have the pace, but either it's driver error or sometimes just getting caught in collisions that have really been screwing him over. 3 DNFs to his name, 1 at Bahrain, Portimao, and then Spain. That's what's really hurting him. But he's currently sitting P8. He's 30 points behind the championship. It's only the 5th round, so anything can happen. And this is kind of the race where you can really see where people would stand in terms of consistency and how well they can drive this car. As well, the top 3 are kind of showing that right now, as they're all the only drivers at the moment in the 27s.
Yeah, Phantom and Ethab there, and Fluky. Sorry, like you said, only 3. Phantom and Fluky are really close. Only 600 separated by each other, but Ethab 5? No, oh my God, I can't do math. Sorry, 4/10 separated by Phantom, which is really great. But still, 7 people have not set a time. I'm not sure. Well, you know, this track can be really tricky even with the rain. It really does test someone's limits. Ethab sets another time. Lesser time by a little bit. Am I wrong?
Actually, it's a lot, actually. The gap between him and Phantom with 3/10 now.
Oh, that's 26. You're right.
He's gained a full second on that lap, so that is quite the improvement from the Alpine driver. Though I'm just going to give a quick mention over here. We actually have, I believe, either 2 new entries, but I know there's definitely one. And it's actually the man who just went P2. And say hello, everyone, to DXD Ishigo. Debuts in T4 for the first time this season as a reserve for Haas F1.
Of course. Ichigo has been racing in this tier, in this league, I think, for about 2 seasons. Now, he's made a comeback after his small break because of studies in college, but he's back better than ever. I know he's not happy about the tier he's in, but hopefully he can make some good results, and that's what racing is all about, really. Just have fun and race with people you know.
Yep, and he's no doubt going to want to show what he is made of, try and just get some really good points here. He has been pretty pacey the last couple of seasons. He was, jeez, he's not really showing what he can do since another fast lap time. But Ishigo, he's shown what he can do. I mean, sorry, Ishigo, yeah, he knows what he can do, as he was in Tier 2 the past 2 seasons. One driving for Renault and the other one for Racing Point. He's had a couple of podiums. He doesn't have a win, but he still had some pretty strong results. So as to whether he'll try and find his form and come back to that as he actually comes across the line, is now 5/10 behind EFAB. So good lap time from him. But it's going to take him a while to get used to driving. But we'll see if that really, if that will show in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, 5 minutes remaining, and still not a lot of people have set times. James B, the championship leader, goes to P4 in the AlphaTauri, 1:27.5. A whole second, sorry. Yes, a second behind third place Ichigo.
Yep, he's no doubt going to want to improve that lap time as well. If you just keep trying to going around the track, you will eventually find some confidence, which he's done exactly that as he goes. He's already 7/10 up on his lap time in just the first sector. So the more you drive around here, the more confidence you'll gain. And James B already showing exactly that, but it's really going to be the dying moments as to what the pull time will be. But 25.8 is the kind of meet for everyone. It's difficult, but it's definitely doable.
This qualifying is definitely really separated. It just, how do I put this? It really separates the good drivers from the best drivers. You have to keep a lot of focus when doing qualifying, especially the race. I mean, imagine a 40-lap Grand Prix with Monaco in the rain. I'm not sure what the weather will be for the race. Actually, I have to ask.
I don't think anybody said anything about that yet. I might have. The Phantom is usually pretty good for that, so maybe I'll ask him, but for the time being, it's a complete unknown. So, will we get a dry race? Will we get a wet race? Who knows? We'll just have to wait and find out.
Yeah, especially not to mention as well, the new update changes the braking, and you see a lot of livery and aero changes. For example, Aston Martin with the new Halo, and Red Bull with that sexy-looking white livery. I definitely love looking at it. It's only for a limited time. I think it's like removed in like next week or something. I'm not so sure, but hopefully they can get some good results with that special livery.
Yes, of course, the reason for that livery is the fact that they are celebrating their partnership with Honda. Remember, Red Bull switched to Honda power units in 2019. In 2021, they decided to celebrate that because Honda will not be in F1 next year. They will still be supporting Red Bull, but they will not be the ones really manufacturing the engine. So this is what they did for what was supposed to be the Japanese Grand Prix, but unfortunately they weren't able to go there. So they decided to do it for Turkey, and it's been implemented into the game as Phantom goes on to pole position. So remember that 25.8? It's been beaten with a 25.3. So that's how you know that people are trying to find their confidence.
Again, the gap is still 5/10 between Phantom and EFAB. That's crazy. It is really crazy. Ethab's got a lot of work to do if he wants to beat Phantom there. I know he's got a lot of time in that lap, considering, you know, it's the wet. Maybe he's done a mistake or two. Oh, there he goes. That's a collision in the barrier wall in that chicane.
Yep.
So far, so good. He keeps on going. But I'm sure Phantom is going on for another lap. Now he's going slowly. Well, we're focused more on the times now. Valkyrie is on a lap as well. I think the track is drying up a bit, if I'm not mistaken, if not gripping up more. What does Valkyrie set in the McLaren outfit goes? 5th place.
Yeah, Valkyrie's showing exactly what he can do going into the top 5. It's still 1.2 off of pole, but it's still a decent lap time considering how the track is. We'll see if he can possibly improve on that. I think he's still pushing for the time being, but Ishigo's just right on the back of him as Valkyrie actually gets back. But we're coming into the dying stage of this Grand Prix, so sorry, not Grand Prix, qualifying. So maybe we can see some blistering lap times from anyone, really.
Yeah, we see a lot of people out on track right now. Ethab is on a flying lap. No, he isn't. Okay, he'll have to set another one. Can we see more people? Oh my god. Oh, okay. My thing's broken. Or not. Phantom is gonna go for another lap right now.
Yeah, he's on. Interestingly, though, I'm actually looking at how many laps he's done on a tire. Phantom has done 7 laps on those wets, and yet they are still holding firm. So the fact that he's still going strong on those wets, well done to him. Hoblock retired, so he's not going to set a lap time along with Carbon and Hoblock. Phantom not setting a faster sector for the time being, but we'll have to wait and see. There's a couple of drivers coming on to start their final flying lap, one of them being DXD Ishigo on his debut. Can he get a pole position for the first time in just his first race? We'll have to wait and find out.
Fluky in the Ferrari output, what Willie said, so only goes 8th fastest, improves by 1 position. The Alpine of Mort Ethab is going to cross the line. No, he goes into the pits. That is his qualifying done for the day. What about Fluky's teammate? Bod Guy, sitting currently 2nd in the championship. What can he do to keep his hopes up? Only goes 9th. That is his qualifying done, barely inside the top 10.
And I think I just saw... I just saw RJL improve up to P12 right behind his teammate. Red Bull, surprisingly, they were on a good run before with KP21 obviously having triple podiums, but all of a sudden, just in this, they are suddenly looking like a line. I kind of take that back now because KP21 now has gone up to 7. But Red Bull, not really. They kind of are looking like themselves right now.
Yeah, still a lot of people on laps. Tacos is already done for the day. Valkyrie is invalidated his lap, so he's done. What about Ichigo? Ichigo, the new man on the block, going through the final corner. Make sure he keeps it clean out of the wall. So far, so good. Going through the little straight. He set for his first race in BRL. Goes 2nd, 2/10 behind the pole sitter, BRL Phantom. James B, though, the championship leader. What can he do? Can he beat Phantom's time? Can he be the 2nd pole position sitter in BRL Tier 4? What will he get? That's 2nd, barely beats Ichigo, and 1/10 behind Phantom. Separates both Phantom and Ichigo by 1/10. That is a qualifying done, ladies and gentlemen. Phantom is your... Sorry, how do I say this? He's the first same qualifier on pole or something like that.
He's the first man to get the 2 pole positions in this tier. That's how you put it. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Actually, no, wait, no. Actually, I take that back, actually. I was looking at the wrong thing. James B actually has 2 poles. So this is Phantom's 2nd pole, and James B has 2 poles. So they are tied for the most pole positions. I was looking at race wins. That's what I was getting confused by.
Oh, God.
Sorry about that, guys, but yeah.
Yeah, but that is great. Phantom is your pole position sitter, with James B separating, wow, by 400ths. I'm assuming both of these drivers have definitely a lot of time in their laps. If they had the chance to improve him. DXD Ichigo doing very, very well for his first race, qualifying third, and more Ethab in fourth after looking very competitive. The whole qualifying session only has to settle in for fourth position of 5/10 behind it. Phantom, Valkyrie fifth, Taco sixth, KP21 fourth in championship, goes seventh, Slayer eighth, Fluky 4 ninth, and Bald Guy Racing in 10th. Also, we have to note that usually if you qualify inside the top 10, you will have to start on the tires you qualify on. But since the race is dry, like Axe said in the chat, that will not be the case. So strategies will definitely be more interesting, more different. There's going to be a lot of variety within that, which is going to make things more exciting in my opinion.
Yeah, it's always going to be exciting how things turn out. We have a dry race by the looks of it, so we will not have rain. But it's going to be interesting how tire strategy is going to go. Some people are probably going to play it long, and some people are just going to just absolutely send it as well. I'm looking at the race director at the moment. So far, everyone's contemplating mediums except for Tacos. That could change in a couple of seconds' time. We'll find out. But strategies either going to play a key part. Because if you watch Tier 3, Killer, he went long on medium compounded tires, managed to keep it out of the barriers, and he managed to get a podium despite starting, I believe, 7th. So, yeah, so playing the mediums, you have to play, if you could play the long run and keep up the pace, it can play dividends. But for Tier 4, I have no clue.
Yeah, you obviously have knowledge about the strategies. I don't. That's on me. I don't know anything about this circuit at all in terms of strategy. But you've done 2 races here. You've commentated 1 race and done 1 race here in Realistic. So we could use the knowledge to our hands here with how long the tires can go. But everyone right now is going to warm up their tires, looking at the strategies, details. Phantom on softs compared to James B and Ichigo's mediums. So it's his job to run away from the slower compound of tires in the first laps before they start degrading. Ethab also the only person inside the top 4 aside from Phantom on the softs. He's going to try and overtake James B and Ichigo. James B and Ichigo as fast as he can in order to catch up Phantom. Valkyrie on the mediums, Tacos in the softs, KP21 softs as well, Slayer in the softs, Fluky mediums, Fluky, Bald Guy, Redeemer, Avi, RJL on mediums, and Henchman the odd one out in the top 10 on the mediums. Sorry, on the softs. That's going to be interesting. We all know Monaco is a really tough track to overtake, so you know people like Ethab, Tacos, KP21, and Henchman, they're gonna try and get their elbows out, be aggressive as much as they can, or they can play it safe, you know? I don't know.
Well, the thing is with that is that they are also going to have to be aware of how much the tires will overheat, because I know for a fact that there have been people not only in Tier 3 but also Realistic, they were having problems with overheating tires, specifically on the softs. So if Phantom and Ethab and like all the other people on the softs, as to whether they mitigated that, I'm not entirely sure, but that could play a key factor, as understeer can really hurt your chances of pulling away.
Yep, I'm just going to line up on the grid now, getting ready.
I'll leave you to the start, because, yeah.
That's it. First start in like months, so
yeah.
Bit of pressure on me. There we go, the 2 Aston Martins lining up on the last 2 slots of the grid. See 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And it is lights out, and away we go. Looks like Phantom had a way better reaction stall, but look at that! He has a bit of oversteer. Ichigo is leading into turn 1 now, with Phantom in second and James B in third. Valkyrie moves up into 4th, passing more Ethab on the start. So it's a clean start with everyone not getting any front wing damage. Going through a little section there, Ichigo leads on the mediums with Phantom on the softs. James B, the championship leader, in third right now. It's very crazy. You see a lot of, I think that's Redeemer. Redeemer has had a little bit of contact with someone and is now down to 17th, a couple seconds behind the pack there. but so far so good. Very clean within all the drivers, and you can see Ichigo starting to get a bit of pressure from Phantom on the softer compound tires there.
That is huge for Ichigo. He started third, and he just made those mediums absolutely stick when going off the start, already making up 2 positions. It's really hard to make it to make moves on the start of the Grand Prix. So the fact that he's already made up 2 positions is absolutely insane. And since he's on those mediums, he can hold up Phantom as much as he wants to if he really wants. But that is up to him. But he's going to lead the first lap.
That was crazy. I swear they were 3 wide going into the first turn.
I think
if my eyes don't deceive me. Yeah. But Ichigo sets the provisional time 1:19.6. Well, obviously the times will go faster from this point onward. We will look at ERS and telemetry from now on to see who has the early advantage there. Ichigo really struggling on the mediums. He does not hit the apex of any of those 2 corners. Phantom sets a purple sector 2 on those softs. This is going to be crazy.
Yep, and remember, they have 39 laps to go through as we see 2 people in the pits. It's RJL and Avi. Avi who went onto the hards, interestingly. RJL sticking out on the soft, so it's not going up with those 2 drivers. We'll see how that pans out. Still a lot of time, but look at the top 6 compared to where KP21 is. They're absolutely gone compared to him.
It's interesting. It's really interesting. You see, the trains are starting to form now. There's a little battle, well, a little train between first and third now. Ichigo, Phantom, and James B. And then Valkyrie, Ethap, and Taco's there closer together. But then there's like a 5-second gap between KP21 and the rest behind. He's really struggling there. Slayer, the Haas, he's really on his back there. But of course, it's Monaco. You can't really overtake this. There's barely any room for 2 cars.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to overtake. There are still chances. If you guys watched Tier 3, there was actually quite a lot of overtakes, not only just in Turn 1, but also the likes of Turn 2, Turn 4. Like, there are places where you can overtake, but you really have to be brave if you want to do it. Hobob's in the pits, quite changing his front wing, so the Aston Martin not having a good time, but you really just have to catch someone out if you really want to make an overtake, which is, I think, what Phantom is trying to do, just staying on the back of the Haas of Ichigo on those softs, but he's really going to want to get it one if he wants to win this Grand Prix, because those softs will degrade much faster compared to that of the mediums.
There's a lot of variability of what Phantom can do, and he hits the wall in the chicane. He's dropping down into 5th. Thankfully, he stays 5th. He stays clean without any damage, but that's definitely not going to help him if he wants to challenge Ichigo for the lead once again.
Yeah, and now the high and soft because of that spin, now it's Ethap who's currently sitting in P4, but now the top 3 are now on mediums, so they're really just keeping it easy compared to everyone else, and that's exact, and it's paid off of them. Valkyrie sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so that confirms Valkyrie's pace that he's shown. Tacos is in the pits. He's going to change his front wing, probably. Yellow flag, I think that is Carbon. Or no, sorry, apologies. That is Hobwob. I saw an Aston Martin not. I wasn't sure it was, but it's Hobwob. He had a bit of a spin there, but the medium runners are really benefiting as the people on the softs are just starting to make mistakes now.
Yeah, that's very, very unfortunate for Phantom there. He was the highest soft runner until he had that little moment in the chicane. That's very not good. He's going to try and push as hard as he can to try and catch up. He hasn't really lost a lot of time. Well, obviously he's lost time, but you could start seeing him close up into the train in front. So maybe he has a chance. Maybe he has a little chance to try and catch up and stay within that train, stay in the DRS train. James B, when Phantom spun, he was 1.5 seconds behind Ichigo. Now he's 0.6 behind Ichigo. What can he do? Will he try and pass him? Like I said, there's a lot of variability of what he can do. Can he try and go on an undercut, overcut? Because they are on similar tires, they will go on similar strategies, I assume. Minigo, do you know the strategies? It's medium soft or medium hard?
Considering that what Killer did in Tier 3, he started on the mediums to the top 10, and he stretched it out until he could go onto the soft. So I believe that the medium soft is the way to go, which is exactly what the top 3 might try to do. But I think what Ishigo is going to do compared to what James B and Valkyrie are doing, obviously those two are pushing, but I think Ishigo is trying to back everyone up so he can conserve his tires. He can try and pull Lewis Hamilton in 2019. If you remember that Grand Prix, Hamilton, he was on the mediums and he conserved those tires for 58 laps, and he's going to manage to take the win just ahead of Verstappen. Ishigo might be trying to play the long game with those mediums so that when he pits and goes onto the softs, he'll be rapid pretty much everywhere. So that could be what he's doing, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait and find out.
This being the lowest tier of the league, it's been relatively clean. I haven't seen any incidents with any drivers at all, which is good stuff. It shows people have really been practicing and shows that their respect for each other. It's still very early into the season, and even then, people are still showing their respect. Yeah, like I said, respect for each other, getting to know each other, and especially Ichigo there, being it's for his first race. He's definitely going to put a mark on the grid.
Yeah, and he's driven around the streets of Monte Carlo many times before, not just in BRL for the pre-seasons. He's done it either in his free time, so he knows how to play around the track, and he's proving it here on his debut, leading the pack at the time being. Still a long way to go, but he's so far kept it calm, kept it clean, despite having all that pressure from the championship leader of James B.
Yeah, Valkyrie gets a 3-second. Oh, that's a little moment between Ichigo. Ichigo, I think he's one of the few drivers that I've talked to that actually likes the circuit, unless I'm talking about Patra. But yeah, James B championship leader hunting down new rookie DXD Ichigo.
Yeah, and the gap between them is significantly reduced. It was 6/10 now. It's 3/10. James B trying to push Ishigo into possibly a mistake. And James B, he wants to take the lead. He already has the lead in the championship, but he wants to win this Grand Prix. This is the Grand Prix that everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to win Monaco because it may be the most difficult track, but obviously the most rewarding if you get it right. So the top three really trying to pressurize the person in front to get something out of this. As James B, he's actually gotten really close to the back of Ishigo. Oh. He's gaining. Can he go for a move? To the backside of it. He could have had a chance on the inside, but thinks better of it, so he's going to stay behind as Ethan now actually gets a 3-second time penalty, which is going to help him. And Phantom is actually caught up to the back of this guy. So Phantom, he's actually hit the wall. No, indeed, that's the one.
Oh no, that's two drivers who've made a mistake. Ethan's gonna make a 10-point turn to try and get his car back safe onto the track. He's ghosted, hopefully, no cars around him, but he does have that front wing damage. He hits the wall again. That's definitely gonna be an extra pit stop for him. He was running P4 behind Valkyrie on the softs, but it's not gone his way. He's gonna head into the pit lane.
Stock runners are really just like not having the best of times right now. Phantom obviously with that with hitting the barriers early on, and then Ethan there with spinning on that swimming pool chicane. KP21 is really the only one of the soft runners that haven't really made a mistake. Same with Henchman, but the problem is that they don't exactly have the pace, so maybe the softs are just falling off a lot more than these drivers assumed that they were.
Do you think the mediums are a better race tire than softs? That's an interesting strategy.
I mean, there's a chance, because in practice, I know there's some people who are definitely complaining about overheating. Ideally the fronts, if anything, on the soft compounded tire. The rears can overheat though, and if your rear tires overheat around Monaco, you're basically going to get sent into a spin, especially around the swimming pool chicane, because apparently that is a very slippery part of the track.
Here goes Frizy on Henchman, the Mercedes on the... Oh, Williams! They both collide. Frizy yields and gives place back to Henchman. Sorry a minute ago there, but that was a very optimistic move, and James B tried that move on Ichigo, but thought better of it.
Yeah, these drivers just really wanting to make a move here, but it's just hard to do exactly that, as whether like someone could possibly is just braver on the brakes, or rather they're just trying to keep their cool. I'm not entirely sure, but they need to get past these people if they think that they're faster, or else it's just gonna just going to ruin their race, basically. And I just want to know another thing of, like, races being ruined and stuff like that. Because of the fact that KP21 is in fifth at the moment, kind of leading a big train, look at the gap between Phantom and KP21.
Yeah, it's increased a lot. And I think that's a full pit stop if I'm not wrong.
It's more than that.
Yeah, the pit lane here is very short. So, not to mention the track is very short. More Ethap's going to try and move on Redeemer, Phantom's teammate there, going down the inside. He's going to have the outside for the hairpin, going side by side. More Ethap yields. Redeemer has to take the wide line, but still defends against Ethap. Both of them, the Alpine against the Alfa Romeo. What can Ethap do in this straight? Redeemer's tires must be really, really worn right now. Ethap's using his ERS. He's going to plan for a move. Redeemer's defending. Ethap goes around the outside, kind of, but Redeemer places his car extremely well against Ethap and keeps the position up in P11.
Yeah, that was great defending from him there, really. Oh, and he massively hit the wall. He's no doubt got full lead damage. I was just about to say that he knows how to defend against him, especially on that straight, because if you're on the inside for some of these corners, it's basically the way to go, because they can't exactly challenge around the outside, as we have a...
that's Tacos.
We have a moment, I think Henchman and Tacos may have collided there in the turn one. Tacos has some wing damage. But yeah, like it's just hard to really make a move without somebody defending, and when they do defend, it's hurting them ever so much more, because not only are they losing time due to the fact that they're stuck behind, but they're also losing time due to the fact that they have to take a different line if they want to get past the driver. So it's just really difficult to do anything. It's not impossible, but it's just really, really hard.
Yep, Ichigo going back to the lead now. Ichigo approaching some bit of traffic from RJL. RJL's gonna give the place back to the top four. Let everyone by, not cause any distractions. That is a spin. A Ferrari there, Fluky. Fluky's continuing with no damage, no visual damage, which is good.
Yeah, and surprisingly, it's been 11 laps. There are still 17 people running in this Grand Prix.
Oh yeah, no retirements yet. That's good that everyone's kept on going. James B still really close to Ichigo. I'm not sure what the pace difference is. He's not using a lot of the ERS here. That signifies that he's not going to try and go for a move. Play the patient game like he did. Again, while going that move, he decided to stay out of it and not cause any harm between them both. Valkyrie, I think he was 1.6 seconds behind both of them. I'm not sure if there's a tiny battle. Yes, I say that! He's out of the Grand Prix!
Oh! What's happened there?
The swimming pool chicane catches another driver off, and he is off into the barrier. No safety car, only a yellow flag. There's no cars around the track where he had that incident, but that's another retirement to his name in 5 races.
That's his 3rd DNF in a row. The McLaren driver just not having the best of times this season. It's only the 5th race and he's already DNF'd more times. It's just gone from bad to worse for him, as he's the first DNF. Bit of commentator's curse there, as I said that nobody DNF'd, he's not first, so sorry about me, but yeah, it's not gone well.
Yeah, there's a little battle between 7th and 9th. Ethap passes Fluky and Henchman, pulls into the pits to go on his first pit stop of the day. That's the first pit stop, I think, of the strategy-wise between all the drivers. So Phantom and KP21 might have a little look there when trying to pit. Ethap now has some clean air after his little spin and his pit stop. He's closing up. You could see the gap between him and Frizy and Bod Guy are closing up a bit, so he might have a chance of a top 5 finish. James B and Ichigo, though, they're on a different level between everyone else. Everyone around them has done mistake after mistake, but both of them have done this race pretty clean with rarely any mistakes. Please don't make that be a commentator's curse as I say that.
Oh, and somebody had a bit of a moment,
really
I think.
Close.
I think Carbon had a bit of a moment at the chicane. He's kept it running though. But Phantom went into the pits. Interestingly, he's no doubt going to come back out in P3, so he holds position for the time being. Now, That's actually going to be interesting though, because if you're on new mediums around here, that you could have quite a bit of a pace difference if you have the pace around here. So it'd be interesting to watch the gap between JB and Phantom sitting at 20.7 at the time being. We'll see yellow flag in the first sector. Not sure what that's about. Everyone's kept it going. KB21 is also in the pits as well. He's gone on to the mediums. This is pretty much the point where people on old softs are going to come in for the mediums, no doubt.
Yep. Phantom and KP21, as expected, pull into the pits. KP21's already out of the pits, but Ichigo and James B, both of them on the mediums, are going to stay out for a couple more laps. Phantom gets a 3-second time penalty. That's going to hurt him if he's wanting to challenge against the... Oh, is that an Aston Martin?
Yes, it is. That is Carbon. He's DNF'd at the hairpin, interestingly. I'm going to try and have myself a bit of a look there. Oh,
yeah.
I think he got his braking.
Oh, that's very close.
I think he might have gotten his braking all wrong there, but Carbon, once again, I think that might be another DNF to his name. I'll have a look at that. Going to the statistics, yeah, that's a third DNF for him. He DNF'd it, poured him out, but that's his third straight DNF for every race that he's participated in, as the Aston Martin's just having a terrible time, really. Hopefully he can get his groove back, but yeah. The streets of Monte Carlo just really fighting him.
We're not even into the halfway point of the race, and there's been a lot of action, a lot of stories to talk about in this Grand Prix. I don't think I'm bored at all here, considering it's a very tight track and there's rarely any overtakes. That's another yellow flag. Slayer in the Haas. The chicane, that's affected at least 3 drivers today.
Yeah, it's crazy to put it simply. Looking back over at Phantom, I noticed that the gap is now down to 19 seconds, so Phantom's showing the pace. A yellow flag, I think that's Slayer who spun. He's actually lost his front wing. It's not gone well for him.
All of it.
Yeah, he has, and Slayer is going to be a lap down on pretty much everyone. So the Haas driver not having a good time around here compared to his teammate. The gap between Phantom and James B, 18 seconds. The pit window is around 18 seconds. So as to, I think, with the pace that Phantom's showing, I think Phantom could possibly jump in front of him.
Oh, that's going to spice things up. Ethab and Frizy are having a bit of a battle. Oh, Ethab touches the back of Frizy. He doesn't give the place back, and he keeps on going. That's definitely going to be investigated by the stewards. Sorry, Monaco.
It's okay.
But,
something happened. But yeah, I guess the two had a bit of a tussle there. Ethab now sitting in the top 5. He hit it earlier, so he's making those mediums work. Yeah, I guess he's just pushing his luck a little bit too much, trying to make overtakes, and it's starting to bite a little bit. But just the ball guy, as we have retirement, that is Hoblob the pits. So both Aston Martin
disaster.
Aston Martin, they have not had the best of times. They only have 1 point to their name in this tier, and they're sitting in P10, and it's just gone from bad to worse for really the brand that pirated James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
He's
not.
17. That's crazy. We have another challenger for the win here. Not counting his 3-second, but on track, he's definitely going to be someone to be reckoned with. Ichigo still in the lead, lap 16 of just pure commitment of this track. I wonder, like you said, he might pit in 2 laps time, same with James B. But with Phantom's undercut, will James B try and pit 1 lap earlier than Ichigo to try and gain that track position?
I wouldn't be surprised if he does, because the undercut can tend to be powerful around here if you have the pace, but the overcut can also be powerful as well. Killer proved that in Tier 3. He went from, he was sitting behind quite a few drivers actually, but he managed to jump one driver that he was behind and then get ahead of Patrick. So the overcut is doable around here if you have the pace. The undercut can be powerful as well. I mean, look at Phantom right now. He has the fastest lap of that Grand Prix, and the gap between him and James B is going down ever so much more. It's now down to 16 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I forgot what you said when I asked, can they go medium soft? But I don't know, are they gonna push it? I don't think the softs will go that long. And even if they do go on medium soft, they're gonna have to try and get past Phantom on those mediums.
Here's the thing with that though, if they can just keep it out of, like, within track limits and catch up to the back of Phantom, they technically do not need to pass them, because remember, that 3-second, that can always play dividends near the end of the Grand Prix. So Ishigo, who's leading the two at the moment, if he has the pace on the softs, if he hits late, as the pit window really to go onto the softs from the mediums is around like lap 26, 27, somewhere around there. If Ichiko can do that and manage to catch up to Phantom and stay within that 3 second, he can ideally win this Grand Prix.
Yep, it's a lot of uncertainty. James B could undercut him. He could pit the same lap as him. It all just depends on the driver. I definitely don't think he's wanting to overtake him on track now. He's just playing the patient game, as he always does throughout this season, and it's worked out every these 4 races that he's raced. Sorry, these 3 races that he's raced. Why change his mentality now and ruin some points for him?
Yeah, exactly. He's been on a great run ever since he joined. I mean, literally the championship leader. He's there for a reason, and he's proving exactly that, just staying behind. If he doesn't exactly have the pace, he knows where he will stand, and he just keeps it clean and keeps it calm. And no doubt at the time being, he will stand on the podium if things go his way. There's still around half of the Grand Prix to go, but things are still looking good for the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, what about Ethab? Ethab has pitted in lap 9 after he spun, and he's gone on to mediums. Do you think those tires will go to the end?
It's difficult to say, because obviously Phantom, he pitted on the lap in which you would expect some of the softs to really pit, which was lap 11. Ethab pitted around 5 laps earlier. If you can make the mediums last and just park it, like Hamilton did in 2019, as I mentioned earlier, you can still definitely get something out of this Grand Prix sitting in P4. That could be the maximum you could get. There's still a lot of time left to go. But as to whether he can make it last compared to the likes of, I would ideally say Phantom or KP21, it's gonna be a difficult task.
Yep. Oh, that's Fluky off. That's Ferrari. Another incident between him and the car, basically. He's had a lot of moments this season. Just not keeping it within. Sorry, just not having his day. It's not been his day, really. Any day. He's gonna put for hard now at the end. He's gonna change his front wing. Well, Bodguy, his teammate, in 5th.
Yeah, Bodguy having a decent race so far. He's sitting, remember, he's sitting P2 in the championship. He's had a good run of podiums as of recently, P1 in Portimao and then P3 at Spain. So he definitely has the pace. Sitting in P5, he won't gain on James B, his championship rival. But again, he could also be playing the patient game as well. So him sitting in P5 right now, it's going well for him. But he still has to pit, so let's remember that. I think ideally, if he does come into the pits, he will come out ahead of KP21. So as long as he keeps it clean, he can possibly get a top 6 finish, which would be great for him.
Well, the gap is now 8 seconds between James B and Phantom, and James B still stayed out. Interesting.
Yeah, because like I mentioned before, the pit window is around lap 26, 27, so they want to go that long. And, well, I know that one of them probably wants to undercut the other, specifically James B on Ishigo. Actually, James B is actually really close to the back now, but Ishigo is going to try and go for a move. Thinks better up in. I thought he was going to go for a move around the outside, but Ishigo just covering that off. But yeah, They want to go onto the soft so that they can just push their hardest. But look at the gap between James B and Phantom.
Yeah, 8 seconds. And at one point it was around 18 seconds, 20 seconds. I remember it was 20 seconds. I don't know. Would it be better to gamble back then? Sorry, back then. But when it was around lap 9 when Phantom pitted, sorry, around like lap 11, was it a good gamble for them to pit for hards and probably undercut him? He still has 3 seconds, so I don't think they will worry much about him. But Phantom with the clean air, he got that luck on his side with the clean air, especially. I don't think the soft strategy would work out for him if he did have traffic like Ethab right now. Ethab's had a lot of traffic now, sitting in P4, but still going well. I think this strategy might work out for him, to be honest.
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's always a possibility of a safety car that could ruin Phantom's chances, but so far it's looking very clean for him. 7.5 now between him and James B. If James B and Ishigo were to pit, they'd be around 11 seconds behind Phantom. So, despite Phantom having his moments in this Grand Prix, he's still showing that he has the pace, he has the consistency to fight at the front.
Yep. There's another yellow flag. That's another Haas out. That is... Oh, Adi also... Slayer out, I think. Slayer...
Try to look at where that is. By the looks of it... Oh! That's a bit of a weird one.
Oh, yeah, luckily it's not in the middle of the track because he's not ghosted, but it is a pretty big distraction.
Yeah, it is a pretty big distraction, but surprisingly still no safety car for the time being. It's weird, because we had a lot of moments in realistic, and we're having quite a few moments around here, yet there's still no safety car, so it's kind of weird, because sometimes where the cars are positioned on the track is definite safety car. Like, if this was real life, it would be a safety car, but for some reason, it's just not happening.
Usually with things like that, to my knowledge, if there's no cars around you, the game just won't call it safety car. That's really weird, but it is what it is, really.
Yeah.
Safety car is on reduced, I think.
I think it's on standard, if I'm not wrong. I'll have a look at that. Yeah, it is on standard, so maybe they're just thinking that it's not the time. Yellow flag in sector 2. Looked like it was in the tunnel. I'm not sure what happened. I think Avi was just letting people by. Ideally, his teammate, in which Henchman is actually chasing back in KB21, in which KB21, he hasn't had the best of times right now, but he's still sitting firm in P6, holding up Henchman. But what's interesting is that the pace difference between him and the leaders is huge. Like, look at the gap between Henchman and KB21 compared to where Ishigo and James B is. It's over a minute. They're coming around the final corner. KB21, as we see it. Oh, we see a pitter.
James
B.
Yep.
There we go. I think that might be a soft compounded tire.
It is. He's going to stretch those soft compounded tires. BRL Phantom has already passed him with the amount of laps he's put into those mediums. But James B is going to try and chase him down and undercut DXD Ichigo, which I'm going to give my full-on opinion here. The undercut is very effective, as Phantom showed right now. James B does not have any traffic in front of him apart from Tacos, who is a ghosted car. But all eyes on Ichigo now. What will he do? Will he stay out? Will he pit? You can see him really struggling on those mediums now. He's been missing a couple apexes. So has James B. So he's really struggling on those medium tires. They're getting really worn compared to Phantom's 11 lap tires. The gap is now 4.2 seconds between him and Ichigo.
I think it'd be a good call for him to pit now. Oh, and his Phantom gets another 3 seconds. That's not going to help him at all. But yeah, if I was Ishigo, I'd pit right now because he's losing time. James B is really catching up to Phantom. And if Phantom's catching up to Ishigo, then James B is definitely catching up to Ishigo. And yep, I called it. DXD is now into the pits, no doubt going to go on to the soft compound tire, just such as James B. But the question is, where will James B come out compared to Ishigo? He's coming around the final couple of corners. He hasn't made a mistake, luckily. So James B is showing his consistency around here. And Ishigo, he goes on to the softs.
Here we go.
James B is way ahead.
Oh. That is crazy. That is a really big gap. 3 seconds now. Him and Ichigo there. Sorry, him and James B. Now James B, he has clean air in front of him. He's did what he has to do. He still has a couple laps left. He still has majority of the race left. But he's gonna try and chase down Phantom, and Phantom having 6 seconds, that's definitely not going to help him at all. He's gonna go to the end on these tires. Predicted he's going to go to the end of these tires. But I mean, that's shocking, really. No undercut.
Yep, it is, especially when it comes to the softs, because the gap between them, James B was behind Ishigo by around 3 or 4 tenths. Oh no! Ichigo's had a moment in the chicane. That's a 4th driver impacted by that chicane. It's not going to help him at all if he wants to chase down James B. But yeah, let's just wow. I mean, it's not really. I wouldn't say it's not really as sad now because he's already been undercut by James B. But he does have a bigger gap compared to him. James Tacos is retired. Yeah, I just saw that. I think he hit the wall on the swimming pool chicane, and that he completely lost his left side tire. So it's not gone. It's not gone his way. Axe is asking for warnings in chat. I just checked over to James B. He has 2. Ishigo. Wait, what? Ishigo has broken the matrix. He has 3 warnings, yet doesn't have a penalty. Actually, wait, he has a penalty.
Oh, he has one now.
There it is.
So it's gone from bad to bad for him. I wouldn't say it's gone from bad to worse. He's still running in a podium position, but it definitely could have been better. Still a lot of the race left. He knows his track very well. But he's now he can drive it without pressure, basically. Just bring it to the end.
Yeah, no doubt. 11 seconds between him and EFAP, so as long as Ishigo can just keep up the pace, I think he should be set, as both of them have a penalty. But the real question is whether James B can get close to the back of Phantom, not get a penalty, and take the win here in Monaco. He wants to win this Grand Prix, and he wants to win this Grand Prix, as we really have 2 people really challenging for that, as Ishigo sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, 2.7 seconds he has to gain on Phantom if he wants to win this race, with a little more than 10 laps remaining. Fluky, he had another moment. No, he's just been passed by Redeemer, 9th place there. 12 people out of 17 who have started this race are still remaining in this Grand Prix. So as long as you're not RJL and Avi, you're in that points range. I'm still surprised there's been no safety car at all this whole race. And there's been like a couple crashes, but oh well.
Yeah, it's surprising that's how it is, but I mean, I guess the game isn't really one for safety cars at Monaco, which is fine, because I mean, we just want to see non-stop racing sometimes. Of all places, Monaco is an interesting one to choose for that, I guess, but yeah. But for the time being, everyone just kind of spread out a little bit. The only real battle going on is between KP21 and Henchman, in which Henchman's still right on the back of KP21 for the time being. He does have a time penalty though, so he's no doubt going to try and just get past him as he's actually ghosted between him and Navi.
Yeah, James B, the only person in the top 4 without a penalty, showing that consistency.
Yep, he may be on 2 warnings, but nonetheless, he's still managed to keep it calm. But the gap between him and Phantom isn't decreasing as much as I thought. So maybe Phantom still has quite a decent amount of pace. The gap is still going down. So James B needs to get within, I believe, 6 seconds. as long as if he doesn't get a penalty, so he needs to gain a second if he wants any chance of winning this Grand Prix. Because right now, the podium for the time being is not James B. Phantom, it's Phantom James B.
Yep.
I'm glad that for the first time in Tier 3 I'm that chaotic, because then I can give my voice a bit of a rest. I won't have a sore voice at the end of this. Yay!
Yeah, even when commentating Tier 3 as well.
Yeah.
That's insane.
About time I get a freaking calm day. I love it.
James B is getting a bit distracted there from the AI. Sorry, not the AI, the blue flags. The blue flag cars around him. Passes one, now he has two more to negotiate with. Hopefully they'll let him by. But I definitely, from experience, it's definitely not helping him try and catch up to Phantom. More ETAP sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as things are quieting down. Oh yeah, he made a pit stop actually. Oh. Is that Avi?
I think that might, no, it's actually Henchman. There was a bit of a moment between KB21 and Henchman there. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. As I was just kind of looking at the racetrack again for warnings and stuff like that. But yeah, it's Ethan showing he does have the base. That's just unfortunately not enough, as Henchman is going to go into the pits, no doubt going to go onto the soft compound tire.
Not enough, as in, you know, just that mistake he made really costed him, really costed his race for a podium. I mean, you can see 30 seconds in behind of Ichigo. Ichigo could probably go into the pits and try and set the fastest lap here, maybe. That's totally up to him, really. But we're going into the closing stages of the race. Things are quieting down a bit. Henchman and Henchman and Ichigo pull into the pits. Yeah, we're just really looking at the intervals. That's really all that matters because of the penalties and everything.
Yeah, I'm mainly watching the gap between Phantom and James B at the moment. It is decreasing 6.1, 6.2. James B is having the pace, but those softs might be starting to degrade a little. I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe he could be experiencing overheating. We just never know. Phantom just pushing as hard as he can, but so is James B. As whether who would get this win, I'm not entirely sure. We'll just have to wait until the dying stages of the Grand Prix, as James B is now officially within the 6 seconds.
Yep, technically he is in the lead now. Wow, he's pulling a lot from Phantom now. 3/10 from that turn one only.
I'm actually just been informed about that. Axis just said in the chat he's having fuel issues, Phantom.
Oh.
The Phantom is dealing with fuel problems.
He's got the gap, though. He's got the gap to, you know, he doesn't have to worry about the lead, basically.
Yeah, but what he really wants to, like for James B, he wants him to get more time penalties, because if he has fuel issues like Axe says, then it's no doubt going to cost him pace. And also going to go back over to realistic. Bailey actually had fuel problems there. Underfueled a bit too much, managed to conserve, but still managed to get a podium. Phantom's pretty much doing the exact same thing, just trying to conserve while pushing as much as he can. So it's going to be difficult, but the gap is now starting to stay a little bit stationary between James B and Phantom. So maybe Phantom is just trying to push despite having those fuel issues. As I'm actually looking at the telemetry, Phantom's fuel, it's yellow.
Let's see what he's doing with fuel. What he's doing to try and, you know, improve that fuel saving. He's short shifting a bit. Not really.
Sometimes it's hard to tell whenever someone's fuel conserving or not. Obviously, Phantom is doing exactly that. You can see his shifting is a bit different, but he is still showing some decent amount of pace right now. 5.5 between him and James B. At the moment, James B is looking like the one to win the Grand Prix for the time being, unless he makes a mistake, and unless the one thing that could possibly save Phantom is possibly a virtual safety car so he can save fuel, but considering how not uncommon safety cars are around here, it's looking like a no-go.
Yeah, and how spread everyone is now. Ever since like lap 10, the strategies have differentiated, and yeah, the trains have started to separate. People have just gone for their own race. For example, Phantom, James B, and Ichigo, for example, they were all three in a little train. Now, with the different strategies and everything, they just separated. Still battle for the lead. James B, 8/10. Sorry, Phantom.
Oh.
All he needs is 8/10 for James B to. Oh,
ETAP just lost his front lane.
Oh, again. Oh,
Yes, he has,
good.
so he's going to have to pit. That's going to allow Ball Guy to get up into the top 4. So Ball Guy's benefiting from this. He's already got 2 podiums. He's going to get possibly another top 4 finish as we see Fluky actually hitting the wall there. Yeah, Ball Guy's been pretty quiet in this Grand Prix. He hasn't really done much. But then again, he doesn't really have to do much. He's sitting in a pretty decent position. As long as he just keeps it easy, I think he should have a pretty good finish.
Yeah, looking at the interval as well now, you said the pit lane time is about 18 seconds. The gap between Phantom and Ichigo now is 18 seconds exactly, and Ichigo has a time penalty of 3 seconds with, hold on, let me pull up, with 8-lap-old softs, so those tires are pretty old. Could Phantom go into the pits? You know, I think at this point he's not going to win the race. I mean, anything could happen, but with the fuel-saving problems he has, he could probably pull into the pits and, no, I wouldn't say go for the fastest lap, but I guess play it safe maybe. No, I don't know, but 6 laps left.
But here's another thing to factor in. If I was just looking at the tires, James B is on 10-lap-old softs. Remember, Phantom pitted on lap 11 on those softs. Sure, he had a bit of a spin, but even then, he still had to pit decently early. James B is coming up to pretty much lap 11, so those tires could suddenly start to die off. Is that if you see the gap between Phantom and James B, it's staying at 5 seconds. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. It's actually increased a lot. Phantom's had a bit of a moment. It's now down to 4 seconds.
Yeah. Maybe those tires are just losing grip now. 22-lap-old mediums. That was the time when James B pitted, if I'm not wrong.
James B pitted, and I will check that quick. He pitted on lap 23. Yeah, he pitted a lap earlier than Ichigo, obviously, but yeah, as we see yellow flag, I think that is Fluky once again. Fluky's not having a good time, as I think he's actually about to be passed by Redeemer for 9th place. We'll see. Redeemer doesn't pass him just yet, but Fluky's currently ghosted. But then again, these two are being lapped currently by James B. So yeah. There's still some decent points for points-paying positions, but right now, for the most part, everything's just kind of staying stationary.
Yep, 4 laps left. Things got really quiet. On-track overtakes. When you counted Monaco, how many on-track overtakes have there been? I think there's been like 4.
A lot less than Tier 3, I can definitely tell you that.
Yeah, a lot less than Tier 3, but there's still been a couple of side-by-side action.
Yep.
For sure.
And now the gap is starting to increase again between James B and Phantom. Look at that. It was 4 seconds, now it's down to 5, so despite Phantom's fuel issues, the gap is starting to increase. I think James B might be starting to struggle a little bit on the softs.
Yep, 9/10. All he needs is 9/10 in order for Phantom to retain this lead. But even with the fuel, can he make it? That's the biggest question right now of him. Can he make it with those fuel issues and win the race on James B? That is a Alpine off. Nope. Yeah, that is.
I think it might have been ETAP again.
Yeah, did he reset the track?
I'm not entirely sure.
He was off the track and then he just was on the track for a bit. But, yeah.
I'll have a bit of a look in a second here. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what went on there. It looked like I think he might have pulled a Rosberg. Calm. But it's
very, very calm.
Yes, it is.
I wouldn't say people are just putting their settings on low settings, but because this is real life, I'm going to they're just gonna try and bring the car home.
That's what everyone wants to do for Monaco.
Yeah.
At least my voice isn't being killed this time around. That's all I care about.
Yep.
And a gap is starting to stay stationary between James B and Phantom around high 4.25 seconds. I think James B is still on 2 warnings. Yes, he is. So he's staying consistent right now. But right now, it's seeming like James B's winning right now, unless James B makes a mistake or he possibly gets a penalty. We'll have to wait and find out as we're coming on to the final 2 laps of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, okay. Things are starting to get tense now. Phantom, 5.1 seconds in front of James B. Low fuel, 6 seconds worth of penalties, and James B with old softs compared to Phantom's old mediums. I think they're at a similar stage right now, but will he pull against James B? And if he does, will he do it and fuel save at the same time? Because it's James B. I'm gonna be honest here. James B still has a bit of pressure on him to, not make a mistake. He's not done any mistake at all in this Grand Prix. So, and still, anything can happen. 5.4 seconds is the gap now. 6/10 is all that Phantom needs if he wants to get this win.
It's increasing
against
ever
his
so much
championship
more.
rival.
I'm just looking at James B's tires right now. They do not look in the greatest of states right now. So I think his tires are starting to go off. This is not what he wanted. We're coming onto the final lap of this Grand Prix, and I think James B is starting to lose a bit of pace because he knows that maybe those tires aren't just gonna. He needs to conserve really.
Yep. Oh, the fuel is red now for Phantom. I think that's only because it's the last lap, but. Last lap, yep. 5.1 seconds is now the gap between Phantom and James B. At this rate, James B will win the Grand Prix, but he still has to take it home. And the race is not over until it is over, folks. 39 laps of just consistency, keeping it out of the wall. But Phantom, with his strategy brilliance, pits on the mediums and undercuts everyone by 10 laps. Sorry, James B and ElTacoMan by 10 laps. And still has a chance to win this. 5.5 seconds. He needs to improve by 5/10 in the last sector if he wants to get this win. It's very tense between everyone. 5.6 seconds out. It's the biggest it's ever been in the whole Grand Prix.
This is 5.8.
This is going to be very close. Phantom going through the final sector, playing it safe. He needs to push, but keeping out of the wall. Goes very wide. He's gonna win the race on track if he does not. Yep, he plays it safe through the final corner. He's gonna win it. Oh, he runs out of fuel though! No. On the line, he wins it on track, but James B is going to win it. His second win in a row in BRL. He wins it by 1.6 seconds on Phantom.
Heartbreak for Phantom.
Wow. That's just heartbreak. Yeah. Wow.
The highest I saw that gap to was 5.97. He was 300th off, and his fuel, like Axe said, he had fuel issues, and it's come to bite him at the death of it, and he unfortunately loses out on the win. He will still get P2 though. Ishigo came across the line to get P3 on his debut, so well done to Ishigo. Coming back to league racing after having a bit of a hiatus.
Yep, Bod guy playing a consistent P4. Really good points for him in the standings. But that is your race results here today. That was a very, very interesting race, considering it's Monaco, considering you cannot pass a lot. Wow. Pricey gets the driver of the day after. We didn't really see Pricey a lot in this Grand Prix. But here we are. About the podium celebrations. James B, the Australian, celebrating his win, and he leads the the Drivers' Championship again, and he improves that gap by more with Phantom in second, and it should go the new reserve in third.
Yeah, those three drivers, despite some of them making mistakes, they still managed to keep their cool and win the Grand Prix and get on the podium. So well done to those drivers. Well done to pretty much everyone, as we surprisingly did not have that many DNFs. I was expecting a little bit more, if I'm being honest.
No safety cars.
Yeah, no safety cars, but only I think 5 people DNF'd.
Yeah, I don't think James B has a mic actually.
I'm not sure if that's the case, but
I think I've invited him before and he said no mic, so oh well.
In the meantime, though, we'll definitely get the other drivers in here. Should I run down the grid basically, or?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So,
you 20 seconds.
James B, he wins the Grand Prix ahead of Pham, then Ishigo rounds off the podium. Then it's Bald Guy, a decent race for him. Then Ethan, KP21, Frizy, Henchman, RJL, Redeemer finishing in the top 10 ahead of Avi Fluky, Taco, Slayer, Hallbob, Carbon, and Valkyrie, unfortunately DNF'd. How the hell did I do that?
Yeah. Okay, let me invite Bald Guy since James B is not going to. But yeah, welcome, Phantom, and go if you please could include your audio to avoid any mishaps. Oh, if you don't want to, that's fine. Why are you even in the interview?
Banter.
Yeah.
Banter, of course. Banter. Okay, let me set the cars. Let me go to the showroom, and then we'll get started.
Shall I start off with P3?
Hold on, Bot Guy's still joining. Let me ping him. Oh, never mind. Is Bot Guy in? No, he isn't. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, okay, we're good.
Okay. Alright, hold on. Let me go to the showroom.
Don't mind me just taking some notes
For college. Wow.
They're
okay.
doing
Look
40
at you.
minutes.
What?
We'll talk about that later. We'll talk later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. That's after the race. We're gonna have some serious.
Let me know when you got
talk.
the showroom up.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Let's head on to fourth place, but third of the interviews. Bald Guy Racing. Bald Guy, you played it pretty quiet throughout the whole Grand Prix, but still managed to get good points in P4. Talk us through your race and how are you feeling right now?
I'm just honored to be on this broadcast right now in P4.
Of course.
I mean, the race was, I guess, it got away from me when I got stuck behind KP. I couldn't get around him. I saw the other leaders pulling out, and he is as wide as a bus. I just couldn't get around him. I tried everything in the planet, and I saw the leaders going away, and I knew it was over at that point. But outside of that, glad I kept it out of the walls. I even got the original wing on my car, so hey, I'm happy.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats to
Damn.
The rest of the podium, though. Y'all killed it. I mean, I don't know how far out Phantom was, but I saw
They were like 40 seconds in front.
I saw James B was 50 seconds ahead of me, so I can't imagine. But what's the deal with the no safety cars on this track?
We were asking the same thing. I'm not entirely sure. It's weird. It's happened in realistic. It's now happened in tier 3 and tier 4. It's difficult to understand.
Well, I was praying for one. Didn't happen. Grace,
we were expecting
great race,
one.
guys. I think we all were.
Yeah.
Great race, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and well done to you.
Right.
It may not be the podium, but it's still P4 and some decent points for Ferrari and for yourself. So well done to you. we shall move on to P3, which is Ishigo. Ishigo, for your debut, starting, I believe, on the second row or the first row, I'm not entirely sure. But you were leading most of that Grand Prix. You really showed that you had the consistency for the most part. Unfortunately, one mistake kind of cost it. But for your debut, getting P3, I'd still say that is a great result.
Yeah, I'd say so. I've raced here 2 times now, and it's both been at 3rd place. Of course, the first time was a bit of luckiness for me, and it was unluckiness.
Wasn't that 2 seasons ago?
Yep, season 5.
Yeah.
And I went out there too. Capture kind of went and I got a lucky podium. Yeah, this race was very good. The start was amazing. I don't know where that came from, especially on the mediums.
Were you 3 wide?
We were 3 wide. We were 3 wide.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That was a little squirrely second phase, and I almost tapped Phantom's rear wheel, but then I just went up the middle and then around the outside. And in qualifying, I was kind of annoyed with myself because I lost 3 tenths in the second sector, which would have put me on pole by 2 tenths, but I mean, I can't complain. Great job from Jason. Amazing job. That undercut really surprised me. I wasn't expecting that. And then after that, my pace kind of dropped off, but I was just happy to get 3rd, honestly. It could have been a lot worse. I always expect to crash here, and I didn't. Have to fall a couple times, but no real damage to speak of, so, yeah. And great job to Fan, too, even though he should have been out of fuel, and he ran out of fuel at the end.
Yeah, he ran out of fuel.
I was just watching.
We'll get on to him
Yeah.
right as when you're done.
Yeah, because I had Axe in the party telling me the fuel and stuff like that. He said that Phantom was almost out of fuel for like the last 10 laps. I'm like, he is gonna run out of fuel. There's no way. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was the case. Yeah. Well done to you, and for your debut, P3. That is very respectable.
Very good.
I think James B actually did a bit, pretty much the same thing, so you almost replicated what he did. So it'll be very exciting to see what you can do later on. But nonetheless, well done to you. And now we will move on to P2. Do you want to take this one, Feta?
I'll take it. Phantom, obviously the biggest story. Heartbreak, losing fuel in the final straight, and you, with the gap, you were going to get that win. Do you think you could have done any better fuel saving and with your gap and your pace overall?
I mean, I probably could have saved a little bit more fuel. I was also kind of expecting a safety car, and I thought that 40.5 laps of fuel would be enough. Apparently it wasn't. It's 1 corner short. Yeah, like overall the race, I was kind of like mostly on my own. It was a little disappointing at the start. Lost the position to Ichigo, and then I spun at a casino. Had a little incident there. Yeah, I lost 4 positions. Yeah, so I was stuck behind basically Valkyrie and all the other guys. But as soon as I was on the mediums, I was kind of like in my own territory and just wanted to log laps and kind of redeem myself after a disappointing race.
Amazing on those mediums, by the way. In that second stint. Like, I know I'm
For real,
pretty
that undercut
ASS
was amazing.
at Monaco, but your pace was really good on those mediums.
Yeah, I was just that first stint on the mediums, I was pretty much pushing as hard as I can to be in front of the guys. So as I saw that they were going to go into the pits and go for softs to the end, I just wanted to be ahead of them, kind of hold them up as much as I can. Yeah, it was kind of unfortunate I ran out of fuel like last corner, but I'll still take B2.
Yep. Of course, that is going to be it from me and Monaco and the rest of Tier 4. Thank you everyone for watching. It's been a crazy Grand Prix, especially, I said it again, especially since it's Monaco. But that is Feta Cheese 33 signing off.